Hello and welcome to another Starcraft 2 England stream. I have got a brilliant game for you all today. If we switch over to the game, you will see that it is the one and only LiquidSheth versus GoSuVibe. Now, these are two very well-known players. They are both Zerg players. We have got LiquidSheth up in the north position, north top left position, and GoSuVibe in the southeast position or bottom right. Now, the map is Shakura's Plateau, and, well, it is a fantastic map, in my opinion, in ZvZ, because it really kind of favours this hatch first build, because there's this small ramp, which means a spine crawler can be positioned very nicely here, cover all the ramp, stop too much threat really from banelings or anything else from that. And the other reason I really like this map is because a third is relatively close to your natural base. Yes, there is a nice little cut-off here which can be used for kind of linger-on buys. Alternatively, you can position your third base up into kind of this position so you can get a really nice vertical split across the map. And likewise, I mean, a horizontal split is possible, but a lot more unlikely because of the long run distance. But, I mean, vertical split is what you generally see, and it can lead to some really interesting situations, and obviously makes these two watchtowers absolutely critical for having the vision across the entire map. So we've got Sheth up here going for a 14-14 build. Obviously the pool is the gas rather is going on the first 14 supply. You then drone and get the 14 for the pool. While over at GoSuVibe's base, we see he has gone for the 15 hatch. So this is really good. A lot of Zerg players don't actually think the 15 hatch build is particularly safe, and I mean, against a really early sort of pool, it can be a bit difficult to hold, but it is still possible. You just have to cancel the hatch. But against the 14-14, where you could get a lot of speedling aggression, it is actually very easy to hold. All it really needs is you go for the gas relatively soon, like Vibe has done here, and you just get banelings really early. And it'll be interesting to see what Vibe does, whether he does go for speed then banelings or whether he goes banelings first. And I mean, an interesting thing is you don't actually need to get that speed out straight away, because if you are playing defensively, the banelings are the most important aspect to that. So we've got a queen half done now for LiquidSheth. He's also got 4 Zerglings coming out now, and it'll be interesting to see how much damage you can do with these. I mean, the hatch will finish up in time, so this will not cause a problem at all. And if we look at Vibe's main base, he's just produced a lot of drones coming out. No, it's only 4 drones coming out, and he is actually getting 2 queens at the same time. So those queens may actually be in danger, because there are 4 Zerglings coming out, and I mean, if he brings them together, it should be fine. And the natural base now going down for Sheth, so it is speedling expand, which is very safe to do. The Zerglings are attacking these eggs, which are going to be some Zerglings, so it should actually be able to take out one of them straight away with an instant surround. If we actually come and have a look up into the main base, this Zergling is wisely running away. Going to try and get in here. We may see some drones pulled, and we are going to see some drones pulled just to try and deal with this. The queen is now out. Obviously the queen is also in the main base, so a second one of these Zerglings will get taken out pretty easy. Or not, actually gets away. And now obviously the advantage of going hatch first and getting double queen is that there's 2 injects now, so this is a really big lava production advantage right now for Vibe, although obviously his money is a lot lower. Meanwhile, Sheth is going out his second queen, just finishing up now. May use it to creep spread, or could actually just go straight down to his natural base to start injecting there. Now we have got a spine crawler on its way out. Now Vibe has actually got quite a lot of Zerglings out, so this little speedling push of 3 speedlings won't do anything, but it could provide the scouting information he needs. Sorry for zooming in there. I'm not going to do a GSL, but no, here we go. We've got those Zerglings coming in. They're going to do a little bit of damage. They should be able to take anything out, and they will pull out just before that spine crawler does finish. So really the purpose of that is, and a lot of Zerg players don't use this in ZvZ, is with speedlings you want to be poking a few in and out of the base, and really what you're looking for is not really the tech but the ling count, because that tells you an awful lot. GoSuVibe's got a lot of lings here, and both players actually getting their baning nest nearly at identical times. A spine crawler coming down now for Sheth, but I mean, that's not going to finish before these Zerglings come in, so these could actually do quite a lot of damage. There's nothing there at all. There are 10 Zerglings on the way, but obviously not actually finished yet, and drones are being pulled as well. That queen is getting very low on health. If he does manage to snipe that queen, and he does get it, so that's a big loss for Sheth at this early stage of the game. But obviously, Gosu did lose all of his units there, he has got 8 more Zerglings on the way, but they won't be out before these come in. So in retaliation, I mean, this Queen of the Natural is looking very low, does get the inject off first, and now that is actually quite a big thing, because it just means that if this Queen does go down, which I almost guarantee it will, that, yep, it has gone down, and Vibe has already started getting his next one in preparation. Some drones are being pulled, just trying to get this round, doing as much damage to the Lings as possible. Some are going to get taken out. That's pretty much a stalemate now, and if we take a look, both players droning exceptionally well. If we actually look at the drone count, having said that though, Sheth is 10 drones ahead already. Now, that is absolutely huge, and really, really will influence how this game goes. And the first Baneling already out, and that was a big Baneling hit there. If you look, those Speedlings are going to be able to get through. They're just getting some scouting information now as best as they can, although they will get taken down pretty quickly. They know there's no Roach Warrior now, and that's a really big tell of what's going to happen. There's also no more gas being taken, so it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Vibe has got his Evolution Chamber already and getting +1 missile attack. Meanwhile, the Evolution Chamber for Sheth is only just starting, so we're going to see Roaches come out of Vibe, and he hasn't even started the Roach Roll yet. He's getting this +1 missile attack in basically preparation for it, just droning up, getting 10 Zerglings out and 2 Banelings. And I mean, those Banelings are going to be very, very important. And I've got to say, this seems like a bit of an overreaction, pulling quite so many. I mean, that Spine Caller will be able to get down. The Banelings actually take 2 Baneling hits in order to kill them. I mean, just again, this Zergling is just going to come around to get a bit of scouting information to see what's going on. He's going to see the Evolution Chamber, but has no idea that this Roach Run has just started. If we take a look here, we've got a lot of Banelings coming in for Sheth, also a lot of Speedlings. He is even taking his 3rd base now, so that's going to be significant. Although simultaneously the 3rd base for Vibe also going down. Although there's a lot of Speedlings coming in here, that's going to force the cancel. The cancel has managed to get off by Vibe, so again, not lost too much. And here comes the Baneling train. That's going to do an awful lot of damage if it does manage to connect with any Banelings, any Zerglings rather. And that was absolutely great micro there by Sheth. Wasting a Baneling on a single Zergling is never the situation you want to be in. And Vibe getting his lair up now very, very early. That's because he got so many more gas so much sooner. I mean, still, Sheth is only on 1 gas, using it all for Banelings, and he has got a lot of Banelings out. He's actually apparently getting a 2nd hatch, so this is a macro hatch going down, I didn't notice a second ago, and some Baneling hits are going off. Again, this is just a blink micro, and that was very, very advantageous for Sheth there, although GoSuVibe did manage to counter it again with his own Baneling hit, but there was a lot more Banelings there for Sheth, so this will force GoSuVibe to move backwards, who is now getting up Roaches, and these Roaches do have +1 missile attack, so they're going to be very, very effective against the Zerglings. The Zerglings, as yet, don't have +1. +1 still has a good sort of 35 seconds left to go before he will finish, so really, this is a good position for Vibe to be in, although he doesn't want to get surrounded. I mean, there's a lot of Banelings still there, and if the Zerglings, if they get some good hits off on the Roaches, they won't kill them, but it'll allow the Zerglings to get a good surround on the Roaches and kill them off. And once he loses this, although having said that, GoSuVibe now following up with an awful lot of Banelings, so as long as he plays this well, if he kills all those Banelings off relatively quickly, he's got great spread. So those Banelings have to really connect with GoSuVibe's Banelings, but no, some great hits going off on the Lings. All the Banelings are going to go down on the Roaches. I mean, that's some huge damage, but there's a lot of Banelings remaining, also a lot of Roaches, and this isn't a good position for Sheth. There is 3 Spine Crawlers now at this natural base, and they should be able to hold. He's actually using the Banelings on the spines, which may not be the best idea he's ever had, because obviously it just wastes them for any potential Ling aggression. But now we'll see the Roaches are focus firing down the Banelings, are going to get the spine down, and that straight away 300 mineral is lost by Sheth. And again, GoSuVibe is morphing in a lot more Banelings, but we see a counter-attack coming in down here, and Sheth deciding just to go for it, and it could be very, very good. He's not going to be able to do anything. Vibe is bringing back quite a lot of units, getting some more Roaches out. And if we take a look here, defensively wise, I mean, Sheth hasn't got much to defend this with. That hatch has now gone down, which is quite a big loss. And as I said, this is the 2nd opportunity he has had to gracefully take that. And the Roaches of Vibe are going to be taken down. But Vibe's got this 3rd base nearly finished now. So he will be a base ahead. And he's very, very spread out. Not to mention the fact he's got a good composition. +2 also on its way. He has got his lair out. So it'll be interesting to see if we see a Spire or anything come out. Maybe Hydralisks. But either way, this is quite a dangerous push now for Vibe. I mean, there's a lot of units there for Sheth, and obviously there is defender's advantage. Now, this is never a position you really want to be in. I'm surprised he's not waiting for +2 to start, because Sheth has got roaches out already, quite a lot of speedlings, and they have got +1, so they could do a lot of damage to the roaches. And here we go, we're going to have an engagement, and there is definitely more roaches. There was some great focus fire and a massive hit on these speedlings there. Now a lot of roaches are going to get picked out here by those zerglings, and again, Vibe just bringing them back, not actually losing anything. And that is very, very, very good play by Vibe. Sheth's in a bit of a tough position here, although he has got quite a few spines, and spines are pretty damn good against roaches, unless they're focus fired like that. But again, there's a very good concave for Sheth there, so he has got the more surface area to attack. This third base up for Vibe, the third base trying to get up for Sheth, although it's only about 3/4 done. And if we take a look at the production tab, Sheth only just now getting out his lair, but he does have this macro hatch, which is allowing him to really pump out loads and loads of speedlings. And the infestation pit even coming down now already for GoSuVibe. +2 is about half 2 done. So there's a speedling counterattack coming now, and there's literally nothing to defend this. That queen could die very easily. Getting good position. Those 2 drones are probably going to meet their fate. But that queen is in a great position to prevent this round. The roaches are going to be able to get in there in time, and some great micro from those drones there, losing very, very little. Burrow on the way as well for Vibe, so he could see some burrowed infestor play. And now this third base is down for Sheth, and if we go to the unit counting tab, it's 62 drones to 50 in favour of LiquidSheth, so that is quite a big advantage in terms of drone count, which is really allowing him to get up this big army. I mean, he's 30 ahead in food, 33 ahead in food, which is pretty damn huge. I mean, that Overseer for Vibe will see pretty much everything. Now, obviously there is a deficit in upgrades. +2 is going to finish by the time this engagement happens, so it'll be +2 to +0 roaches, which really does favour the +2. Even though there are a lot lower numbers, the damage output from those roaches is going to be significantly higher. And if we take a look just through the base, I mean, both players are on lair. Sheth isn't really doing anything with his lair aside from getting this roach speed, which will allow him, and this is a great burrow play. If they burrow up just at the right time, they could do huge damage. They're just waiting, and I mean, he's just waiting to get in that perfect surround. And there we go, there's the burrow up, and it's going to do some big, big damage because the Overseer was there. Now that Overseer gave him great vision, and really Vibe just waited a bit too long, which was a shame. There's a lot of banelings coming in. Those banelings can do a lot of damage to the roaches quite quickly. And as you can see, this is really a +2 against no upgrade roaches. And we'll see what damage that does. And this is great micro in moving the damaged roaches back. Just trying to take as little damage as possible. Again, a lot of roaches and zerglings coming in for Sheth, while only roaches for GoSuVibe. But there's a lot of forces left for Sheth. And even though he has no upgrades, I mean, there's just so many more units for Sheth in this position. He's just running up the ram, trying to get the better up, and he's going to manage to kill off all of the roaches pretty much. I mean, the upgrades get more effective as numbers get smaller, just because of focus firing and that sort of thing. But I mean, this push is doing quite a lot of damage. There's going to be quite a lot of drones dying, but obviously the reinforcements for Gosu are in, and Sheth has committed a lot to this attack. He's going to have to pull back, but I mean, this isn't a good position. I mean, GoSuVibe is going to get surrounded. He's going to be forced to move back even more, and there's just so many roaches. And GoSuVibe's actually got 16 more roaches on the way now, so that will give him enough, I think, to be able to deal with this once they've all popped. And moving back to the safety of this spine crawler, which will force LiquidSheth to move backwards. And Sheth also getting burrow now. And I'm surprised GoSuVibe isn't utilising burrow micro more, because there's no Overseer in the vicinity for LiquidSheth at the moment, and just trying to pick off a couple more roaches as he moves here. And this is really favouring GoSuVibe. He has burrowed one roach in order to start healing it up, getting some good burrows off, getting the heals, and I mean, that is very, very helpful. It just makes those units last longer, but we've got a big movement of units here for Sheth. Less of a supply advantage than he had before, but obviously he has got +1 attack on both the zerglings and the roaches, so that alone could be quite effective. Neither player really taking past roach at the moment, which is quite interesting. I mean, GoSuVibe does have the infestation pit, and having said that neither are attacking, he has actually just now gone for his pathogen glands. And obviously GoSuVibe is now holding this watchtower, so we'll have a good idea. And there's a lot of drones which were mining there, which was a shame. And Vibe is just getting that Overseer in just to see what's going on. Getting a contaminate on that hatch, which, again, any loss of production, it really is a big loss in ZvZ. But likewise, Contaminate gone off on Vibe's third here as well. So quite interesting, and we've got a big push coming in here. And now, some of you might be wondering why Sheth has just got so much more stuff, even though he went for a pull first rather than a hatch first build. And really, the reason for that is, well, these Zerglings are going to do a lot of damage. There's constant harassment. I mean, down here we've got big engagement. They are going to force Vibe back, and I mean, Sheth is really keeping on the ropes. Meanwhile, all these drones are just getting killed by the Zerglings, and the Zerglings alone are going to do it. But instead, Sheth is moving up all of his units, and he's really just going to try and keep Vibe pinned back. And I mean, that third base is almost certainly going to go down. Vibe does have, and that was a huge fungal growth. Obviously, fungal growth does do bonus damage to roaches. Absolutely massive damage coming off there. Both of the infestors will go down, but not before they've done absolutely massive to turn the tide of this battle. And I mean, the infestors alone have actually put this in favour of Vibe, and Sheth is going to have to retreat. But it was a good attack. Managed to take down the third base of Vibe. Now, what I was trying to say about Sheth is why he has more stuff is purely because of this macro hatch. He played with Lings very, very heavily, which meant he was mainly focused on getting his gas saved up for anything else. And because he had so many more minerals, and having said that though, this is a big engagement. Even the drones are being pulled, and I mean, GoSuVibe is doing some great micro with Burrow, but there's the GG from Vibe, and he's left the game. And to be honest, that was quite an early leave. It's purely because he lost this third base. He knew there was literally nothing more he could do. And if we take a look at the unit counting tab, it was 29 roaches to 19, but purely because he couldn't do any more damage to this base. The upgrades were good for both players, pretty much even when you look at it as armor and a weapon upgrade. Now, if I had to say what really made this match a win for Sheth, it was this. This macro hatch allowed him to simply outproduce Vibe and keep laying on the pressure. And without that, I think it would have been very different. But it really shows the benefit of the macro hatch, especially when you look at the amount of saved up resources that Vibe has compared to that of Sheth. I mean, 560 minerals could give you a hatch easily, almost two. And that's really what Sheth did. He built that extra hatch, which allowed him to keep his money low, which allowed him to simply overpower the stronger force with sheer numbers, because obviously the upgrade advantage was there for Vibe. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please click subscribe if you've enjoyed. Watch my other videos. I'm always welcome to feedback. If you've got any games you'd like me to cast, please send them to sc2england@hotmail.co.uk. And I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will get some more videos up soon.